closely mimics an actual whip. It's very safe, though. Very safe, though. I'm not going to ask. Oh, yeah? There we go. There we go. It's like, there we go. Brings me back to the 1980s and 90s in a different way with those slap bracelets.
Okay, people, welcome back to another Fwoosh Weekly. As always, I'm Robo, and woo, we're jumping out of the holiday season right into Friday the 13th. Come back, Santa! But it's a good Friday the 13th because, boy, the toy news is just stacking up. Been some lean weeks because, well, rightfully so, like I said, the holidays. This week, ooh, all the big boys came out to play. Granted, a whole hell of a lot of it has been revealed before. We've gotten teases or sneak peeks. But now that solicitations are going up, that means pretty promotional pictures, that means more information. But there's still some brand spanking new stuff to talk about too. Like Boss Fight Studios' Fraggle Rock. This may surprise a lot of you. Hold on to your seats. I don't know a lot about Fraggle Rock. And with that, I'm finally realizing, or at least accepting the fact that I've never really been into puppets. I don't know what it is. I've watched some. It's just never clicked, I guess. And I have no interest in going back and catching up on any of it. But there are things that are recognizable. Like having no memory of this show, but the theme song being right there, just stuck. As soon as I see Fraggle Rock, it's like... Marketing. I'm a child of the 80s. If you put something bright and catchy in front of me, I'm like, yes, I would like to go to McDonald's. Saying all that, I can still appreciate nice-looking action figures, and Boss Fight did an excellent job here of translating that effect into plastic form. I mean, look at the texture over the body. It has that fuzzy kind of look that makes you think, is that plastic or is that made out of something else? I think the Doozers are supposed to be smaller than the Fraggles, or at least that's what Google tells me when I look at some pictures online. And they've replicated that here by making the Doozers 3-inch and then the Fraggles 5-inch. And I had forgotten that Flange Doozer was solicited last fall. So when I saw the release date of first quarter 2023, I thought, why is that coming out so quick? Oh, yeah, those pictures did pop up last year. Because the new characters revealed just this week, those are scheduled for second quarter 2023. $40 a piece. Well, Flange Doozer from last year is $25. The Fraggles are $40, and then the new 2-pack of Doozers are $40 because you get two. Makes up for the size differences, balances the plastic and price across the board. That's not all from Boss Fight this week, though. Something closer to my wheelhouse is wrestling, so them announcing another license under their belt is exciting to me, even if I don't follow MLW. See what I did there? Wrestling, belt, oh... that's that quality content y'all love. Because I don't follow MLW, I don't know who Alexander Hammerstone is, but I know it's a Boss Fight wrestling figure. That means it's gotta be good. Same for Mads Kruger, although in this case, the mask, oh man, it just sets off all kinds of possibilities in my head. Not to mention the gear is very custom friendly. I see some... could that be some Bane fodder right there? Jacob Fatu, though, that's some name recognition. I may not know him from experience, but the family has a lot of legacy. The only one I actually know from seeing him on television is Killer Cross, because, you know, he was in WWE. Well, was he MLW, WWE, then back to MLW, now he's in WWE again, for whatever good that's gonna do in the immediate future. Then to spice the figures up, there's a championship belt pack with all the belts. Well, I don't know. It seems like all the belts that would be in a promotion, plus a cup. $40 a pop for the figures, $25 for the belts, all listed for November. Something that was teased last week was a new Mezco 1/12 collective figure, because 1/12 day. And every time they announce 1/12 day, I feel like I've solved some kind of ancient riddle. You know, hey, their line's called 1/12 collective. January 12th is 1/12. Figured it out. Anyway, when we rolled into Thursday, they solicited their 1/12 Collective Rumble Society Death Adder. It seems like this character popped up before, it being Rumble Society and Hazard Squad. It had to have appeared in the background or in the comic or something. I just remember this design. But since I don't follow this series too closely, I can go into it with fresh eyes. The benefits of forgetfulness. Basically, what we're looking at here is solid Snake Eyes Pliskin. Reading the description, it is exactly what you think when you look at this figure. Mercenary Assassin Stealth Commando. Those exact words, that exact order. But I'll be damned if this doesn't work. I mean, come on, look at it. It's a black-clad assassin with a serpent head, eye patch, ton of guns. What else do you need? It's cliche, but that's I feel like that's kind of the point of Rumble Society. Plus, he scores big points from me for killing this abomination of a flocked figure. Look at that. Just, kill him again! Get him! Mezco exclusive, so you gotta go straight to the source for this one. $95, set to ship in the next 4 to 6 weeks. Their 1/12 collective G.I. Joe Snake Eyes is also scheduled to release January to March of this year. Coincidence? I know, the details don't match, but they share the same spirit. You know what I mean? Look at it. Like if both were on a galloping horse, fighting each other, and you were really far away with a high-powered sniper rifle, going, I can't tell them apart, sir. I don't have a clear shot. And I'm going to warn you, Mezco, you're going to take a hell of an online beating if this comes out and then Snake Eyes is pushed back. Wait, this... As we all know and talked about several times, McFarlane Toys spent the holiday season just revealing new DC Multiverse figures, one after the other, sometimes on top of each other. And as predicted, we're now seeing a wave of solicitations for said figures, which has us on the floor, pictures out in front of us, leg lackadaisically, just unconsciously kicking. You know what I'm talking about. You remember catalogs. The Todd catalog, that's what we'll call it. Right off the bat, and I didn't mean to do that, they just came out of my mouth, but again, how amazing does this Kingdom Come armored Batman look? Just good gravy. What you doing later, Bruce? Like last week's Hush, it's nice to get more classic looks for Batman. And this may not be as popular, but it's iconic. I mean, you think of Kingdom Come, well, you have a certain mental image, but this comes along eventually, right? Look at it. On the other end of the spectrum is Gladiator Batman, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. Like we've talked about several times, Batman sells. Why wouldn't a company keep putting out Batmans? At least this exists in the comics. They could be just taking a base Batman body and painting it white and red and different colors and calling it Arctic Batman or Lava Batman. Oh, shots fired. Ooh. It's odd that the figure doesn't match the trading card that is included in the package, though. But I like the figure design better. How does that work? Because it's the complete opposite for Superboy, whose figure is an older version. I'm guessing it's a current look, while the card is more Reign of the Supermen. The look is close enough to make me think, oh, there's a gold label coming, isn't there? For a younger look, maybe? And then I still get thrown by the Signal. Like we've talked about several times, he has light-based powers. Batman has a bat signal. This character started out training under Robin's. It makes sense for the costume to be primarily yellow, but it still throws me that a Bat family member has a costume this bright. And yes, I know the Robins and everything, the capes. I get it. It's throwing me. Maybe because it's a new character and I don't read a lot of current comics. Maybe I should do that sometime. Especially if Jay Garrick currently looks like this. It's one of those, my favorite kind of modernization of costumes. It's mostly classic look, but it has flourishes that brings it into the current era. Those gloves work for me. What can I say? And the little seam lines? Not a problem at all. It's a good look. It has the unmistakable DC Multiverse proportions, but that's what the toy line is. It has this look. It'll fit in with the rest. Finally, something new, something we didn't see coming. Well, okay, there may have been a leak, and it kind of makes sense for there to be a gold label Blue Lantern Kyle Rayner. And this is exclusive to Todd's own McFarlane's toy store. So if you want that, you'll have to go over there. In fact, all the links are in the description. Last weekend was a bit crazy for Mattel's Masters of the Universe Masterverse line. Reports started popping up that Too Bad was making appearances at Targets across the nation. So Sunday I took a chance, took a trip to mine, and I found Too Bad along with the New Wave. Well, most of the New Wave. It didn't have Stratos. And then I got home to find out that everything was on the Target site, including Stratos. So but I can't complain about that. Oh no, figures are available. Again, like a lot of things this weekly, we've seen most of these before. Leaked online listings, shown at conventions, teased by Mattel themselves. Full-on solicitations means new pictures. Yoo-hoo! First off, Too Bad looks awesome. And I say looks because I haven't opened mine yet, but I will. I'm getting there. Big and bulky and broad, and I guess I didn't realize from the initial pictures that while it has the tried and true color scheme and the unique heads, it actually looks like there was two bodies squished together with the purple kind of engulfing the blue. On top of the blue side having some texture to the skin. We're used to that with the purple. It's nice to see changing it up a little bit more. And I still love that the heads are at different levels. The shoulders, there's a kick to it. For Sorceress Evil Lyn, I love this design from Revelation. And it made me realize that different sorceresses would have different looks depending on their demeanor. The bat theme totally works for Evil Lyn. And it looks great in action figure form. The painted on details do stick out, and I only say that because you get to Frosta and all of her garments are sculpted on. And have we talked about the translucent hair before? It changes a bit in the pictures. Some shots are bluer than others, but it still works. It goes, hey, there's an ice theme going on here. Roboto I saw in person, and even there, still giving off the Gizmo Duck vibes. I can't help it. Once I saw it, it's stuck. But it's not enough to put me off the figure completely, because looking at pictures again, I realize that's the design from the classic figure. Because otherwise it has all the classic beats. The inner workings, the color scheme, the duck bill. Like I said, I didn't see Stratos, and he's high on my list. Because, I mean, you have your main masters, you have your secondary masters, who are still important, but man, Stratos is high on that list. It's New Eternia, which means it's very 80s inspired, but they throw in new bits and bobs to spruce it up. Options, my friends. Options. Those are always good. I wonder if they'll ever do a variant with the feather colors reversed. And then to top it all off, Target lists a deluxe Man-at-Arms, but out of stock. Don't worry, I don't think it was ever in stock. I think this is just a placeholder page. Here there's options to either have retired Man-at-Arms, just on the farm, or back in battle. Armored back up, ready to go. Again, all the links are in the description. Oh, Transformers. You've probably noticed that I've backed off Transformers. For the most part. It's another realm, really. It's so hard to keep track of. Plus, I'm always talking about this channel being dedicated to 1/12 scale or slightly larger. None of the Transformers lines fall into those parameters. But some things still catch my eye every now and then, mostly of the non-transforming Transformer variety. And no, not just to poke the bear. Those that say, oh, it's not a Transformer unless it transforms. What is this devilry? Blasphemy! Yeah. I'm in it for the characters. I'm in it for the robots. And if I can get a better looking robot without the kibble of a transformation, then I'll take it. Here is the Flame Toys Furai model Soundwave. These kits aren't as nice as the Bandai models, but they're still fun as hell to build. And plus, you get a great looking Transformer out of it. The stylization can put you off. I mean, I look at some of them and think, that's a little too far from what my mental image of that character is. But then some, like this, oh man, it enhances it a bit. And it doesn't hurt that it's the best Decepticon ever. Hell, could be best Transformer ever. The description boasts different injection runner color and no paint required, I guess unless you want some wear and tear. So if you're not into that part of model building. But what really reached out and grabbed me? Look at that Ravage. It's so cute! I mean scary. Manly. You are so fierce, yes you are. Overall, 6.3 inches seems like it'll fit right in with Hasbro's Generations line. Unless you don't like mixing and matching different styles. Me, I have the 3.0 MDLX Bumblebee and Optimus Prime up in my display, along with some Hasbro. The Skywarp model kit kind of hangs out in there, so I have no problem kind of... Here's a cleaner, more robust Soundwave. Bottom line, model kits are fun. Soundwave is superior. I have my pre-order in. $60, scheduled for April. This week's Hasbro Indiana Jones fan stream gave us a better look at the Club Obi-Wan Indiana Jones, and it comes with a lot more stuff than I thought it did. And I say that because I know this popped up at Frank & Sons a month or so back. I didn't watch any reviews. I didn't see any loose pictures. I was kind of going for the surprise of it all. So of course they come along with an official live stream, and here's all the stuff that comes with it. From the initial package shot, we knew it was coming with the big diamond and the urn, but it also comes with a flaming shish kebab and the vial of antidote. And I can only speak for myself, but my carpet monster, it's licking its lips. It's like, those aren't gonna last very long in your collection. Give it to me. I'm hungry. Kinda makes up for the lack of a build-in artifact, which, as predicted, makes this an exclusive. But the Target pre-orders yesterday seemed to go off without a hitch, so that's a good thing. Here's hoping the Walmart exclusives go near as well, because they announced a couple of exclusives there too, starting with Last Crusade's Walter Donovan. Hey! weren't you in Star Wars? Comes with some neat pack-ins like a gun, part of the tablet, and a fake grill, along with an aging out of this mortal coil swappable head. Good looking figure, but when somebody pointed out that it has double knees with the pin showing, it fired off something in my brain. I had to go to my Star Wars shelf and... oh, there it is.
Thought we wouldn't notice, but we did.
It shares legs with Star Wars Black Series Thrawn. But if it works, right? Oh no, there's pins showing. But for someone like me, who again has not watched any reviews, I haven't seen any of the Indiana Jones figures loose compared to other toy lines, that right there gives me exactly what I want. I wanted this to be in Black Series scale and not Ghostbusters scale. That's kind of a reassurance there. Then there's also the Walmart exclusive Professor Jones in his no-nonsense suit and bow tie, along with the shield, torch, and journal. Exciting. and don't get me wrong, I've wanted a good 1/12 scale indie line for a long time, and I'm liking everything that I see. But to a casual observer, or someone who's not a fan of the series, it's just dudes in suits. Makes me realize what an uphill battle this may have been to get this in the toy aisle, as just people in clothes. It's definitely not as flashy as most of the other properties out there. Still, 3 guys gussied up doesn't make for an exciting live stream, so they had some pipeline reveals. There's Temple of Doom Indy, there's Short Round, there's Sexy Hypnotized Indy, Old Indiana Jones from the new movie, and then Helena Shaw to keep him company in his old age. Hey, it's called Indiana Jones. They're gonna make figures of Indiana Jones. Fear not, thanks to the target listing for Goldfinger Indy, the description says, look for Henry Jones Sr., the Grail Knight, and Mola Ram at some point. Yeah, Sean Connery is another old guy in suit, but those others, they're gonna be eye candy. I'm picturing them in my head. Sorry, I drifted off there for... This week, Hasbro also revealed Cha'ad as the Build-A-Figure for the next Marvel Legends X-Men wave. Then the next day, pre-orders. Pretty promotional pictures. So we're gonna run through the wave again, even though we've seen these characters before, because there's more stuff to look at. Why wouldn't I? But to do it quick, we're gonna high-low it. We're gonna have some positive and negative and move on. Kid Omega, good to have him in the line. Definitely not his most popular look. In fact, the more I look, the more I hate it. But it is the one that's easiest to translate into action figure form. So... yeah. Fang, lovely addition to the Imperial Guard. He can keep Gladiator company, but big for the character. He's listed as 5'4", going all the way back to the Marvel handbooks. And that's why people say that this should come with a Wolverine head. But in this form, this size, that is completely wrong for Logan. It works visually though, because proportion-wise, this is what I see when I go back to the handbooks, or the visual guides, or the comics. Unless you get them side by side. And I guess I've never thought about it before, because Wolverine takes his costume, puts it on. It's comics. It could have been a big costume, put it on, and it shrinks down because unstable molecules or something like that. But I guess I never put 2 and 2 together that Fang may be, or probably is, Wolverine's size. Oh yeah, positive, negative, just blowing right through them, huh? You know, I always have something to say. Corsair kicks off the Starjammers and adds to the cosmic side of things. My negative that I'm going to put out? Red bandana. Yeah, it's been shown as red in some instances, but most of the time, you go to Google, it's a blue bandana. That's nitpicking, but that's what I got. Monet wasn't high on my list. I just don't know a lot about her, but it's good for fans of the character. But looking at it, the head does seem all out of whack, like the body's big, head's small. I also don't know a lot about Chamber, but with fire erupting from his chest and jaw and mouth, just... it makes me interested in finding out more. But the leg reuse does stand out. Leather jacket, suit pants, leg stand out. Oh, I'm good. Emma Frost, I could probably put artist specific in both the good and bad columns, but here... I definitely don't mind some Cassaday flavor. And yes, that's what it looks like. Stop it. Stop it. Stop. But Hasbro, we need to be done with single elbows on females. Now. Gone. I mean, I get it. The cape is really hindering the shoulder movement, so her just being able to do this is passable, I guess, but never again. Stop it. Then there's Cyclops. The spitting image of Scott in his astonishing costume. Finally, an appropriate body for Summer's build. No more Bucky caps. None of that matters, though, because there's a little smoky effect sticking out right there. Trash! Done! Get it out of here. Go home, Hasbro, you're drunk. No, I get it. I didn't like the effect as a permanent fixture on cable. I guess this is kind of the same thing. It does stand out. A possibility is that it may be removable, just not in the way we think. Last night about 2 a.m., I was scrolling through pictures, blowing things up as I tend to do because I lead an exciting life. And I zoomed in super close on Cyclops, and if you look, it seems the whole red thing is a separate piece. It's kind of sticking up there on the corner, kind of peeling out maybe. So maybe it is removable. You can heat it up, loosen up the glue or something, and then either leave the empty crevice or it'll make it easier to snip that little puff of smoke off and then sand it down, smooth it out, put it back in. Because even odder, both Hasbro Pulse and Amazon lists it as 3 accessories including alternate hands and a smoke effect that attaches to his visor. So maybe that was the original plan, to have that pull up, because if you look at the package shot, the render, it looks like the visor has a deeper red and then the smoke thing is a lighter red. It looks like a separate piece. Hey, I like Cyclops, what can I say? And I really like this figure. But that brings us to Ch'od, or Chode, I guess. Apparently that's how it was pronounced in the animated series, and if you know anything about me, the animated series doesn't exist. CH''OD. Ch'od. As far as the figure goes, it's an old abomination with new head, new hands, new forearms, new belt. And if it had to be reused, I can see why they went this direction. The Gamerverse abomination has the size some people wanted, but it doesn't have the detail. This, with the lines and the layers, that matches up to Ch'od a lot better. And I don't mind the size so much, being a classic kind of guy. Those knees are ugly though. My gripes are with the hands and the paint. Yes, there should only be 3 fingers and a thumb on each hand. I can't help it. That's how I remember it in my head from the handbooks and the visual guides. Again, I'm going back to those. It looks like the basic shape and the finger positions are the abomination hands, just with extra detail on the back. I don't know if that saves money on the production side, where you take the mold that's already there and just alter it instead of cutting a whole new one. So I don't know. That's not an excuse. That's just me pointing it out. And then the paint is plain as hell. I mean, if you look real close, there's like yellow oversprays or highlights in places, but you have to really look for it. That's still a whole lot of sculpt work that could have some wash to it, some depth. Although there is a certain charm to it, looking like the Toy Biz 5-inch version. But then even that had 3 fingers and a thumb. $25 a piece, due out in June. And then finally, Bandai announced their SH Figuarts across the... I keep having to make myself say, across the Spider-Verse, Miles and Gwen. I've been commenting a while now that Figuarts has been kind of cartooning their figures up even when it's live action. So them leaning completely into it, ain't nothing wrong with that, especially when it looks this good. And honestly, first glance, I looked and went, oh, well, I already have a Miles and Gwen from Spider-Verse, so I'm good. I should have known better. Started looking closer, and like most Marvel movies, they've updated the costumes, and I can't help it. They're changed for the better. Miles' suit is a lot cleaner. There's still some runs to the sprayed-on paint parts, but the edges are crisper, the points are sharper. Plus, instead of the red coming up and over the shoulder, it starts at the palm, runs up under the arm as a stripe, and then all the way down to the knee. I like it. Gwen's costume tweaks aren't near as drastic. There's obviously the sneakers instead of slippers, but then there's a minor change, which may be my favorite aspect now. Her old costume had the pink and blue-green webbing design right here at the bicep going under. Now it's moved down to kind of a fingerless glove sleeve effect, and it works so much better. Looking back, the splotch up here seemed kind of random, like we gotta work this in somewhere. Now it makes so much more sense. The black, the white, the pink, the teal, everything just melds together. Teal? Turquoise? Aqua? I actually had a color course in my short-lived college stint that I failed miserably. But in my defense, the instructor only wanted to talk about Neil Young. And that didn't help me any when I wanted to mix some blue and green together. But I digress. These are great looking figures. Although the costume texture is very exaggerated, kind of blown out of proportion. Very basketball-like, which I'm used to saying about Mafex, not SH Figuarts. It's not a deal breaker. Maybe because of the scale, they have to pop it out more in order for it to stand out on the shelf. Smaller, and maybe it's not going to be as noticeable in person, like Mafex. Here, high-res pictures, pushed in close, Yeah, there's a lot going on there. $90 should release in May. If you missed it on the import sites, the domestics now have it up for pre-order too. And that's all for this week, or that's all I've got. Is that not enough? Are you ever satisfied? Me neither. If you want to see any of these pictures up close without me all searching for a heart of gold. Great, that's stuck in my head now. I'll be posting all of that along with links to pre-orders, more information on the Fwoosh front page Saturday at noon. But if you can't wait that long, links are in the description. And it looks like next week's going to be more of the same. Well, okay, well, we expected it, right? There's going to be some Hasbro stuff that has leaked out. Some Power Rangers. Well, they announced the Power Rangers live stream. And then there's going to be some Marvel, there's going to be some other stuff. And then Mezco said that for their Toys Fair in February, it's not going to be all just condensed together. It's going to be over 3 weeks. I think it's 2 days per week. I need to look closer at that. I probably should have done that before I opened my mouth, but it's not my style. So yeah, more toys, more pre-orders, more money, more just everything. It never ends. I feel like I'm to the point of saying the same thing over and over and over. Oh no, it's so much stuff. Yep. If you enjoyed this weekly, comment, like, subscribe. Much love to the plus if you're interested in seeing videos early or in a position to help out the channel, patreon.com. But wherever you may be watching this, I'll always catch you on the Fwoosh. Oh, and I'm all self-conscious about I stabbed myself with a flathead screwdriver this week. I was working on the windshield wipers of a 2004 Pontiac and was popping the clips on the cover, and my hand was way over here. And I was like, and I saw it come across, but it was super fast. Like, oh no. And you know what my first thought was? Man, that's going to look gross on camera. Not, oh no, I'm bleeding. I've stabbed myself. It was... oh, great. That's going to ruin a YouTube video. And putting Band-Aids on the palm of your hand sucks. It doesn't work. As soon as you do something... So that was my week.